Is a full group of people, a full quorum.
Full bellies.
This meeting was called on February the 20th at 3:29 p.m. It was posted at the courthouse on our multiple websites and Facebook and a lot of places. And just to remind everyone, we did this all pursuant to the Texas Open Meetings Act. Having said all that, we're back in public session now. It was a fast lunch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We all bombarded to the blue bonnet and overwhelmed her, I think. But she appreciates the business. The next item on our agenda is to discuss and consider and take appropriate action on how to proceed regarding the possible noncompliance by the owner of Barrett Solar Project, by the owner of the Barrett Solar Project with respect to the terms and conditions of their agreements. I put this on the agenda and I'm actually moving the form of a motion.
Before we go there, can we go back and
Oh, yes, that's right.
moving March the 5th at 2 o'clock to March the 6th at 2 o'clock Friday?
Okay.
Hello, sorry.
Neil, does that work for you
Sorry.
better? March the 6th?
March the 6th.
If we move, no?
We'll make it work.
Okay, because you were going to be gone the 5th, right?
No, that was Neil.
Oh, that was, okay, Neil, okay, yeah.
But, I mean,
Okay.
either way, Dan and I should be able to take it.
All right, so
That public hearing, the public hearing.
the public hearing for the 6th.
So that's March the 6th at 2 p.m.
Is that
Yes.
2?
Yes.
2 p.m., yep.
And 6 p.m. March 10th.
6 p.m. March 10th. All right, so you're only amending the one for the 6th, for the 5th, from the 5th to the 6th.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that in the form of
Yeah.
a motion?
Yes.
Would you please restate it?
I'd like to make a motion that we move the public hearing to consider the 391 commission to be moved to March the 6th at 2 o'clock
From March the 5th.
from March the 5th.
Okay, that's
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. That passes unanimously.
Okay.
All right, so now I'll restate what I said before in the form of a motion to discuss and consider how, if there's action that needs to be taken with respect to the tax abatement agreement submitted by Majeski Storage LLC, a Delaware limited company. No, that's the wrong one. 14. Discuss and consider and take appropriate action on how to proceed regarding the possible noncompliance by the owner of Barrett Solar Project with the terms and conditions of their agreements. And that's in the form of a motion.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. All right, so let's discuss some of the things that are going on with this project. I think, as we discussed at lunchtime, we were concerned about there's been multiple concerns, whether it's project work or whatever. I understand that you guys were delivering a lot of the deliverables under the abatement agreement to Mr. Snowden. Is that right? Okay. And then, if you don't mind coming up, let's go over Ms. McCall, the concerns that you had, and then kind of talk through how we bridge the communication gap to solve for the problems that either exist or do not exist with respect to this project. It's abatement. Please state your name.
Yes.
My name is Sherry McCall. I'm the chief appraiser for Rains County.
Okay.
My concern is, as of this date, the rollback taxes have not been paid for the solar farm.
Okay.
They're delinquent. One property owner paid his, but the others have not, and my understanding it was up to Colbert to pay them. I've had correspondence with them in April of last year, in June of last year, and I believe in August of last year. And then about 2 weeks ago, I had correspondence with them. To this day, as of 9:30, they still haven't been paid.
Okay. And what is that amount total?
About $122,000. No, I'm sorry, $233. $233,000.
Your tongue's tied like mine today. $233,000? And
That's correct.
does that include the 2025 taxes, or what's owed for 2025?
Yes, 25s are included in penalties.
Okay.
So that's the rollback plus the
Right.
2025.
Plus the 25s.
When were the taxes due, just for the public?
January 31st of this year.
Oh, this year for all the rollback taxes?
For all of them, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a year of time, basically when I sent the letter to them, they had to January 31st, 26.
Okay. And after that time, what would happen if you're not paid?
They start collecting penalties and interest until the bond market and then kick in to basically, the lien go forward with suit and things like that to take the property.
Okay. All right. Neil?
Can I ask one more question, Sherry? So 233, that's rollback plus 2025 and penalties and
Interest of
Interest.
through this month.
Okay.
It'll go up again next month.
So just so I understand, what you're saying is it's really only 30 days late or
It's
ish?
yeah.
Is that, okay. So that's not as drastic as when I look at these, there's the tax years on the statement of account. So the rollback taxes were done,
22, 23, and 24.
right? So you rolled it back on what date? Would it have been towards the end of the year or did
It was, I want to say around
February this year?
no, I'm sorry, last year.
Of last
It would
year?
have been of last year.
Okay, so
I don't
then,
remember the exact date, but everybody gets noticed. I had correspondence with Mr.
say it again.
Daniel Aguilera.
Oh, there he is. Okay. All right.
I've had
Daniel.
quite a bit of correspondence with him. That's who I've been going through the emails, and we had to fill out the W-9s form, and
Okay.
I've sent it multiple times to them to get that.
All right. Anything else with respect to those taxes?
No, sir.
Have we assessed? I guess you'll do your assessment this year.
The assessment will be done for whatever's in place. Richard Abbott will do that appraisal for us,
Mhm.
Plus the business, personal property, and other things like that will tie into that.
So while the project's ongoing in construction, do you come up with an appraised value for the assets that are sitting on the ground, whether they're installed or not?
As of January 1, correct?
Okay. All right. And that would include the substation and
All the things that are out there.
all the things that sit on the ground, right? Okay. Any questions from?
Just those appraisers are coming out when, you think, this
They
year?
haven't given me a date yet.
Oh, they have given you a date.
All the BPP is not due till about May 15th. And they get it, April 15th, and then they automatically get a 30-day extension, so
Oh.
they don't usually come out till May or April and do all their assessments.
All right. And so when you did the rollback taxes last year, the reason why those taxes aren't due until this year is because they're reassessed in arrears?
Well, it's
Or,
legislatively, it's statutory.
Uh-huh.
We have to give them after the bill date, let's say 24 was current, they get that whole year to the next delinquency day.
to ride the,
Depending on if we had done it at a different time, then they would have been done in January of 25. But since we didn't initiate them till after that, they
okay.
got to the next study process, I guess. That's what it's saying.
Will there be more rollback taxes in 2026?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
We're still doing our assessment from our EcoView right now.
Okay. Do you happen to know what the assessed value was for the rollback that were made?
Calculated. Depending on the property, as far as the value per acre,
Oh, so those were just the actual real property assessments. There haven't been any personal property assessments made this far. Okay. Okay. So what did it go from and to? Just out of curiosity.
I think when I did it, 'cause I ran
If you have it, I know you did come prepared to answer all these questions, but
studies, because I've sent some spreadsheets throughout the year that shows the value that changed from market to appraisal,
Mhm.
and it's about almost $5 million difference.
how much?
How much? $5 million difference
$5 million difference. So,
from ag value to market value.
okay. So I ask you that question just so the public can understand. If you have something in ag with an ag exemption and you convert it to a commercial asset, which is what I guess that is how this is being appraised,
Yeah, it's
right?
not, it doesn't qualify for ag anymore.
Doesn't qualify for ag, then that, when we talk about abating taxes and we talk about economic development or whatever, that tax basis, there's a huge portion of Rains County that's all subject to ag exemptions. And so these ag exemptions, reduce their ability to collect revenue because they're based on lower valuations. In this case, I'm sure that was an exponential increase of multiple thousands of percent.
The rollback total was about 190,000, 197,1821. That was the rollback originally. And we're at 233 and 141.16 now. So we're already about $40,000 more than what the rollback was.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Thank you,
That's
Sherry.
for all entities.
Dan, you want to come up and talk about the payment? It was on. I'm sorry. Just press it lightly one time. There you go.
There we go. My name is Daniel Gonzalez. I was working on the Barrett Solar project starting in about March of 2024. I became the project manager for the Barrett Solar project around October. So with that in mind, I will accept full responsibility for the delay on these taxes. However, I would like to add that we are mailing checks via FedEx as soon as I get back to Houston tomorrow.
Checks in the mail.
Checks will be in the mail.
I'm giving you a hard time.
And I realize there's a 9% fee added every month we're late. Happily pay that, it's going to the county. So we're
As long as you're going to pay it, we don't mind you riding a little bit longer.
Right.
we're paying.
I thought they might.
There was one. Oh, I wanted to also add, as far as I understand it, the rollbacks are applied when you change the use of the property from ag to whatever.
I believe that's right. We can ask Ms. McCall. She's the expert.
And we're not going to be changing it for the next 40 years, so I don't think there will be another rollback. But
Yeah, it'll just be taxed at a higher rate. Unless you've added on more to your project that,
Right.
Something like that. I heard y'all might be adding on.
that's we're on the same page there. But yeah, so those are in process. 2025 included. There was a bit of confusion. I had coordinated 3 different landowners. One paid in advance, didn't let us know until a little bit later. One paid 2025 property taxes, but not rollbacks. And then the Barretts, who I communicate with more frequently, didn't pay either. I told them we're covering it. We don't want to have to reimburse you, just to shortcut it. So that's kind of the long and short of it.
And then just to squash any concerns that may have arisen from my putting this on the agenda, the landowner payments have been also made, right?
Oh yes, those will be paid in January.
There's no liens or anything like that against the project.
No.
This is just
Just the taxes.
the taxes is an issue. Okay. All right. Any other questions for so far? Mr. Frappio, you said you were wanting to come up and speak on is this
Thank you, Daniel.
the line item that you'd like to speak on? Thank you, Dean.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me over. I just want to reiterate my message from 2 weeks ago and support all the other people that spoke. That I believe that the court has a responsibility to make sure that the covenant is followed by Barrett Solar, and that all the clauses of the covenant are covered and demonstrated and well done before the project actually connects to the grid. And we're very close to connection time, so I appreciate that you guys said this morning to make sure that things are done correctly to make sure that this project is as safe as possible. Now, we know that there are going to be fires in this site, just from the testimony of the gentleman who runs the construction project now, through Jeremy, that there will be fires. There's a lot of data on fires on solar sites, that there are fires, just fact of life. So the most concerning part to me is fire codes and making sure there's an emergency response plans in place very, very shortly than before this thing goes on. Thank you very much.
Hang on just a second. So Mr. Frappier is very actively involved for the benefit of Cobra.
Right.
And policing and gaining as much understanding as possible about that particular project and then others in the county. And as a part of our inserting this on the agenda, Jeremy helped us collect a lot of data. And so this is all the data that we've received. And some of it, I guess, had been previously submitted to Snowden, from what I understand, CapEx, unbeknownst to me, it's just a part of the right hand not knowing what the left hand's doing. And so Mr. Frappier came in yesterday morning at 8:15, and he's sitting in that room over there, and he developed a list of questions that we have, and I'll ask you to read these off here in just a second, of things where he went through these for my benefit, personal benefit, and then also for his own satisfaction and understanding. And his wife was here as well. Where's she with you today? There you go. Yeah, so Mr. and Miss Frappier came in. They sat in that room because they are very concerned about the solar project and the compliance of these tax abatements. And so he's a very actively involved individual. And so if you don't mind, here's the list of questions, and you can read them off. And then maybe between now and the time we leave, we can get some of these questions answered.
So, the list of questions is not 100% complete. We spent about 4 hours going over these documents and comparing what was.
Eight man hours.
It's actually man and women hours.
Men and women hours, yeah. We have to include her.
So it's like 8 man and women hours.
Yeah.
Going through the documents in those folders and what the covenant said. And what we've observed was a couple of things. That the emergency response plan that's been provided so far by PCL covers the construction portion. It talks about 5 different managers supporting the project, and I don't know exactly how many construction workers. And that plan is based on that organization. Except when the plan goes online, my understanding was from Mr. Cornelius's answers in the town hall meetings about 8-9 months ago, that there'll be maybe 1, maybe 2 people there. So obviously that plan does not support having just 1 or 2 people on site. So that's one area where we need to make sure that the plan will match the operations of the site with whoever the operator is at the moment. The geotechnical report that's in those manuals is preliminary and draft. There's no final geotech report. So that's something that should be completed. As far as the owner's plan for disposal or recycling of solar panels, there is no plan per se. There's a mention in the NSDS from the solar panels not to go to a landfill, but there's no actual plan from the owner how they're going to dispose of panels when they're reached end of life, or if they're damaged, or if there's a malfunction of any kind. So that's something that should be cleared up. As far as the MSDS are concerned, we have one MSDS for the solar panel itself, but we have no other MSDSs for any of the components in the system. So it's kind of hard to assess risks, environmental impacts. The MSDS for the solar panel does not mention, for example, what happens if there is a fire on the site? What happens to the panels? Do they leach something? Does some kind of toxic fume come out of them? What happens if the flood and the whole place gets flooded? Or tornado, hailstorm, things like that. So in terms of assessing the risk of population, and in terms of assessing the risk for the environment, if something like this would happen, I believe we don't have enough information to comply with the covenant, in my opinion. So those are things that would have to be done. Screening plan implementation, there was a screening plan memo about what we're going to do to meet the screening requirements. I guess construction is not 100% done, but that's something that should be checked out to make sure that what was said in that memo was actually done on site. So there's also a clause in the covenant, and this is just a partial thing. What we'd like to do, Jenny and I, is go back and we go through some of the areas where it says it's compliant. We couldn't find the document. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but we want to make sure we search
On the
every
color
drawer.
chart.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the covenant ensures every drawer, every email to make sure that we or do we not have the response from Barrett Solar on this one. Is it satisfactory?
Okay.
So the last area of my concern is, of course, fire codes. So there's a clause in the amended covenant that none of these clauses in the covenant will leave Barrett Solar from meeting any of the applicable Texas laws. And as far as fire codes and how the whole system needs a fire code, there's no information, there's no evidence. And that's a very important factor into making sure that the system is as safe as possible. So there are a few more things that I could bring back next time this week or whenever we go to finish the work of going through all the documentation. One thing that I'm not 100% sure of is I have not seen a water pollution plan yet. I think it said it was done, but I'd like to go back with Jenny and maybe sit with Diane and go, maybe she got something on her computer that I haven't seen, and so on and so forth. So
Okay.
this is like I would say, a partial first pass
Yes, it's
of the
it's-
documents.
8 hours worth of work.
Yeah, eight man and woman hours.
Hours worth of work. Yeah. Mr. Gonzalez, would you be willing to answer any concerns? Oh, absolutely. Anybody that wants to come up. Mr. Frappier, this is Mr. Frappier.
Did I
He's-
get a copy of the questions? They did?
Thank you for the list. Thank you for going through the documents. We do have a lot of this already available. So meeting for the emergency plan, we have that. The one you referenced was, I guess, from construction. We just need to provide you with the updated one. We have a group called DEFCON coming over in that transition from construction operations.
Mhm.
It's going to be a plan in place.
Understood.
So we just have to get you that. Geotechnical report, I believe it was stated at that time it was a draft, and we were to, on some of those covenants, follow up with a COD as-built final. So that is on the list to provide. Plans for disposal.
Mr. Frappier, are you familiar with the word as-built?
As-built?
As-built
Yes.
plans, okay.
Okay, sorry, we're at the jargon.
Okay, so you might explain to the public what as-built is.
Yeah, just once everything is fully built and then approved by ERCOT to fully operate for commercial operations, that's final as-built. Nothing is going to change at that point from the design construction perspective.
So then if there were changes that were in the design drawings or whatever that were altered or changed by an engineer or someone else, then that would all get trued up on the plan, and you would have what the plan was, and then maybe the as-built might look like this. So they just shifted this way or whatever, and that becomes the final drawings for the project.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It becomes the final drawings, but then that's what the operation team uses to operate the
To
facility.
function, yeah.
If there's issues, they troubleshoot in that way.
Right.
I was going to say, if you want to be able to speak on the MSDS portion of the disposable panels.
Yeah, so,
It's on.
okay.
Yeah.
For the panels and panel damage, let's start off, if you do have a weather event, hailstorm, something that would damage and break the panels are constructed, they're a sealed unit. So first off, any rain or any kind of bleaching that would come off of those panels, it's sealed. So we're safe on that. If they become broken, the way that they're constructed, the glass is a laminate. So it's very similar to the glass that would be in the windshield of your car, right? If your windshield gets broken, it doesn't shatter. It stays together in one piece. And with the multiple layers, water connected in there to create any kind of bleaching. Once the panels are recovered, let's say it doesn't have to be broken. It can identify issues ahead of time through maintenance and DEFCON being out there. Once we identify that a panel needs to be subbed out, it will go for recycling. There are companies that we contract to that can recycle the panels and the different components in there to be subbed out and reused. We do have a MSD for the panels itself. I have seen that myself, and if that's not provided, we can definitely provide that to you. I know working with our operations management team, there is a MSDS for some of the other components out there, but I'd have to track that down for you if that's not provided.
I think we were just wanting if there's an MSDS sheet for whatever is out there, we want to get a copy of it, whether it's
Absolutely.
and the full version of it.
And just be aware, once we do switch into operations, that will also be updated as well for the fire department's safety as well. If, any kind of storage that needs to be done out there will be kept track of. Just while I'm here, I'll also address the water pollution question. So right now during construction, in place, we have our SWPPP plan for current construction. General construction, anytime you're breaking ground, anything over an acre, you have to have that plan in place so that there's no erosion, sediment discharge, any creeks, rivers, streams. That is currently in place. current inspections, audits going on right now. Once we flip over to operations, that permit stays in place until the closeout requirements are met. So once we reach stabilization, where the state tells us that you've reached 75%, I believe it's 75% grass coverage, you can legally close your permit. So that's making sure that we're not sending any kind of sediment, anything offsite from our construction processes. If there was to be a spill on site, let's say we have the inverters and other the electrical components, they have chemicals to keep things cold, right? Keep things cool, moving, lubricated. We have SPCC plans in place. Those are looked at by a engineer and stamped by a professional engineer. Those are in place for the facility, and they all have to meet the spill requirements of making sure that they have adequate capacity. I believe it's 1.5 times the volume of that unit. Those I have been working with our O&M to make sure that we have that covered. And lastly, if we do have a fire out there, I know a concern that I've heard a couple times today is, you have a panel fire, we're using water to subdue the fire. There is containment. There will be containment around the site to trap water. So that traps the water. So any kind of fire mitigation, that'll be contained, and we can remediate that. Not letting it go off site. So if it leaves the site, it's a lot harder for us to control. If it's in our facility, we can control it, clean it up, and do that properly.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Do you have information on if there is a fire when it's in the air from the panel? And not being a little, because this is a huge site, and one or two people there, they might see some flame up when by the time they get some help, because it's spread quite a bit. So what happens to the actual panel? Is there anything that goes in the air, any toxic stuff that goes in the air, or something?
So for the most part, what can burn on a solar panel is really the gaskets and caulking. Some of the components that help seal off from live wires. There really isn't much to burn. You can get fires from paint, some possible arcing, but as for a fuel source, the solar panels are pretty poor fuel source. We part of our operations, and insurance requires it. We have to have a vegetation management plan, and I believe that vegetation management plan requires that we keep the grass below 6 inches. And that's while we have a operations team out there, DevCon will be helping manage that. That is a requirement too. Then that keeping the vegetation down does help fires from spreading. Your question about the anything going into the air during a fire, I don't know that personally. I can definitely look into that for you. I'll make some notes and see what I can find. I'm sorry, I can't say anything right now.
And then you think that you have all these answers. One of the concerns, especially the people from Point, is a lot of people there. And if there was a situation where they had to evacuate because there was something in the air and the wind was blowing towards them, right now they're very concerned how they would do this. There's too many people to move. So that's why the question is, what happens in the air? What kind of toxicity would be emanating in the water and in the air if there was any?
That's a very fair question. We'll look into that.
And how far does it reach? I mean, if the wind is blowing or the wind's not blowing, how far does this just keep floating out in the air? I mean, the reason why I'm asking is because the Lone Oak School has, talked about what happens with the school because they're so close to the school in Lone Oak. How far, and they're not. I don't know, how far would you say? 2 miles away from the end of maybe 3. I don't know, probably 2.
It'll blow where it blows.
I know. I just,
Do you have fire suppression equipment out there at all?
I
I'm
know.
sure you have fire extinguishers, right?
Yeah. And did you?
So I don't know all the details, but I know we built an O&M building
Yeah.
with a couple rooms, so
So
you
yeah.
have to have it in there.
Should have something.
The substation equipment
Mhm.
has to have it,
Mhm.
so I can confirm it for you.
Is it so, here's a fire, is it accurate to say that you're gonna let the fire burn, the grass burn, just to contain on the outside of the facility, or you actually try to put out, is there a plan to put the fire out inside the facility?
I don't know that detail.
That we most more than likely, and we can confirm with DevCom, go into more detail about DevCom specifically as our provider. More than likely, we want to suppress it so we're not damaging all of the panels. It's different than a battery project where you're letting the battery itself burn. We want to mitigate the damage so we're not having to replace all the panels or equipment out there. We want to honestly get the site back online as quick as possible, right? So that's the prime concern for us. If there's more damage, it makes it tougher, especially when it comes to standpoint of procuring these panels, right? To speak about DevCom, just for everyone's information, DevCom currently in Texas is operating 3 gigawatts of renewable energy projects in Texas alone. I read recently that their experience spans 10 gigawatts across the country. Within Texas, what did we see? How many gigawatts was in solar?
About a gig.
About a gig in solar, and then 350 of BESS as well. So DevCom has quite a bit of experience when it comes to operating and maintaining these assets. And on another note on this, the way we approach this is we're not using the cheapest vendor when it comes to operating these sites. We're trying to actually use the ones that have the most experience, because at the end of the day, when there's an issue on site, our sites go offline. We need to get them back online as quick as possible. And we're using O&M providers like DevCom that can help us achieve that and get back online as quickly as possible. So I know you're not as concerned about getting it back online, but it goes hand in hand. If there's an issue, we want to make sure we're getting that so we can get back online as quickly as possible as well.
And as far as meeting the actual fire codes, that you have data that shows that your components and all that's going to be constructed actually meets all the fire codes?
That's part of, so whenever these projects.
Would you move a little closer to that,
Oh,
Mike? Also,
sure.
would you
Sure.
also explain the financial part of that, where they're wanting you to have dot the i's and cross the t's on
Oh, you're talking about
the
from,
sourcing of the material,
financing of the material,
and
right?
then also the electrical requirements on
Well,
the
yes.
compliance of this.
Absolutely. So speaking strictly, so I myself am a licensed professional engineer in electrical engineering. Part of that requires following the NFPA fire codes when it comes to the electrical components. All of the components that are within our assets follow strict UL and NFPA guidelines when it comes to the design of these projects, and that is stamped by the professional engineer. For the CPC, it was PCL, so PCL's engineer, licensed, stamped, and verified that yes, it does follow all of the code guidelines which match the fire requirements necessary for these projects, for this project specifically. With regards to the finance piece question, so this is also just peeling back the curtain for everyone else. There's on these sites, in order to operate, in order to fund and then build and then operate these assets, even though we do have a healthy balance sheet that helps us develop these projects, we do also go to various banking institutions to help finance our projects. And the components that we have to use, including the modules, the inverters, as well as all of the substation components, have to be what's considered bankable components. And those follow very strict research and requirements from the banking institutions themselves in order for them to even consider these as financeable projects. The cheaper the components, the less likely they will be considered bankable. So all of our projects meet that high bankable standards in order for us to secure the financing required to operate these sites. Again, it goes back to if there's operation issues, if there's safety issues, it hurts our reputation with these banks, and we're not able to secure funding for future projects.
So all the information that you just described is available for review, if you ask questions.
Absolutely, should be. Yeah, absolutely. It's common industry practice that the This is how, I can't speak for every renewable energy company in their financing group, but with the renewable energy companies and IPPs that operate with our type of balance sheet model, that's how they operate. So yeah, it's no one way to skin a cat, so to speak, in this regard, but there's a lot of similar companies that operate the same way we do.
And you're sourcing all American. You mentioned American made. You're trying to do.
We avoid, yes. So as part of all our equipment, we have to follow the FIAT guidelines, which is Foreign Entity of Concerns. So again, when it goes back to if we were to review battery storage, that has to follow it as well. We can't use components that are sourced from, let's say, China or other countries that are either prohibited or of concern to the United States, as well as from a data sensitivity and critical infrastructure piece as well.
And then I wanted to have a follow-up question.
People can't hear you back
Okay.
there.
So I'd like to then follow up with a question. I've forwarded some questions to your company through a commission report. And one of the responses your company sent back a bill of material, a partial bill of material. And there are 19 components on the bill of material, 15 of which indicated they were from China. So is that standard for the whole system? Is that how come these 15 or 19 were from China? You just said you can't buy. Maybe at least not all components.
So not all components. I should say not all components, the critical infrastructure components. So like, for example, the modules themselves, there is a certain percentage that we do have to abide by for foreign entity of concern. Certainly from the SCADA piece, which is the control and all of the critical data for the site, that can't be sourced from China. In fact, most of the relaying equipment, which is the data and operations for the substation that works for the site, that's actually, if I'm not mistaken, sourced in the U.S. by a company called Schweitzer Engineering. So Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories. That is pretty industry common across the board. I'd have to look back for the bill of materials that you're speaking of. I don't know if
I have a good email.
if you could email it back to us so we can look at which components specifically were Chinese procured. Again, I can't speak for the EPC themselves. We do have them follow strict guidelines, but depending on the type of components, the EPC understands as well that there's certain components that they're absolutely not able to procure from these entities. So I have to look back to see specifically which components were Chinese.
And so if we ask the question of all the components, let's say there's 2,000 components in the system, just from
I mean, there's way more than that, but yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. So,
Sure.
so would you be able to say out of the 5,000 components, there are 79 that are bought from China? Here's one thing.
Let's let him get the list instead of guessing.
Yeah, I can't speculate on that.
We'll look and see how far.
What I can do is provide guidance on how best, specifically moving forward, and hopefully this doesn't get too technical, but there is a certain percentage of components that must be acquired within the US versus using foreign entities of concern that I mentioned. For the threshold for projects that begin construction this year, that threshold is 55%, and it goes up 5% every year until it hits 70%. But again, those components are not related to batteries themselves, or if it is, it's hard to source. If your batteries are your highest capex, it's hard to mix that between American procured and trying to go Chinese procured. We don't typically see those components because, for lack of a better way of putting it, they don't play well with each other. So you want to try to keep types of components procured from the same manufacturer, if that makes sense. Yeah. But again, from that piece, I'd like to look at the BOM and see which ones were Chinese versus not. And maybe I can get some details from PCL, our EPC that procured and installed those components.
Okay, that's good for now. I think. All right. This is I will say this is somewhat unprecedented, in my opinion, to have senior people here to answer public questions. Would you please state your name, please?
Sorry. I'm Stephanie Carter. I'm a Wayne County resident. And I do a lot of environmental work, environmental medicine. So I've helped people with 9/11, a lot of disasters. I'm working with people down in California, Palisade fires. So I'm very concerned because I see the long-term effects and I see it happen to the next generation. And then right now we're finding this heavy metals in the soil in California. So I think big concern is that I'm reading about these panels, and there's like fluorinated panels, and that's a big thing, hydrochloric gas. And then read about like if they're thin, there's no cadmium, and we feel like forever. So that's very concerning.
So,
Did you fill out one of these forms?
Yeah.
You did? Okay.
so addressing the panels, the older technology of the panels, you know, 10, 15 years ago, that generation panel were more environmentally unfriendly. The panels that we use now, and again, we were more than happy to share the MSMSD where we acquired them. They are not the same. The particular style, I couldn't say off the top of my head. I will say in the MSMSD, it does state cadmium and lead as trace materials, meaning that entire makeup of the panel, those are the components inside the solder. On the electrical components, that's not necessarily something that's widespread throughout the panel. That solder is also internal, sealed, which we'll talk about before. So the chances, yeah. So part of the documents there, they have the leachate study, and part of that. Yep. That's all. That should be included in that MSM in that.
If they're not, you're gonna include them.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that particular study, it's a scientific standard study. So I believe it's hydrochloric acid on there for a certain number of hours over a certain number of time, and then they can calculate how much of that chemical comes off of it in that amount of time. I believe that it's stated in there that it's trace.
So here's another concern we have is that the fires happen, and then the big other toxic problem with the foam. So the fire out the foam, it's usually fluorinated, and then you got PFAS, you got forever chemicals. So is this something that I want to know if this happens, are we going to have fluorine-free foam? Because that's, for people who don't know, PFAS is a forever chemical, it's a fluorine bond. So it never comes out of you, like it's in your body, and you don't get rid of it. And so it's very dangerous, and that's what typically that's the big thing too. Is the fires is the foam.
So that's a fantastic question. I actually have done some PFAS work in another life.
What is that called?
Perfluorinated alkylating substances, PFAS.
Also known as forever chemicals. That's
Okay.
the new.
I think triple F foam is notorious for it. Firefighters have been getting cancer from it.
So that particular foam, it's very common in aviation firefighting. So a big problem right now is on Air Force bases where they do that firefighting. It's really, really good at putting out fires. It completely smothers it, but it stays around. And that's a problem they're fighting right now. What we're looking at for solar in particular, there will be water use to extinguish the fire on the ground. The panels themselves will have to be de-energized, right? So it'll be an emergency shut-off, no power going to it, and then there'll also be water. So there should not be fuel use.
I think we need to stop. We can hit if there's more.
Yeah,
Less, this could go on forever.
no problem.
No disrespect, but I think if there's other discussions, maybe you can take some of these back with you, anticipate some of the concerns. And then, as we mentioned before, this is part of the public communication aspect of it, where I think if you do a COD
Public hearing.
type celebration, or we could maybe reschedule, do a public hearing at some point. I'll put that on the
I
list.
think that's on the note on there as well.
It
We'll have
is,
to do
yeah.
that, and that'll give the community enough time to get questions.
Because there's some smart people in Rains County, and I didn't understand half of what she was saying. So it'd be neat to learn it, but it wasn't really intended for this. This discussion here was pretty much just driven towards the non-compliance issues. That's more of a technical, aspect of the project itself when it operates.
And we'd like to have possibly DevCom out there as well as our O&M.
Absolutely,
So they can
yeah.
ask these questions straight from the source of our O&M file.
All right, so is it safe to say then, to the extent that that we know about it, it's been discussed today, that you plan on going back, producing the information that we need or that we've asked for, and you'll send it back over to us?
Yes,
All right.
absolutely. If we can get the list of the questions that were
Yeah, Mr. Frappier, did you take the list with you when you? Here you go. Oh, there's one.
case, and then if we get the BOM.
And then we'll send you his other list. Mr. Frappier is going to forward that to the list, Jeremy.
Right. If we can get the bill of materials as well.
Bill of materials, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that way we can address that.
And then we can go back through everything and take a look at it. It's one. As I said at lunchtime, people don't believe what you say, but they have to self-verify it. And when you have curious people that are also knowledgeable, then it's even more self-verification. And I appreciate your willingness as a company to communicate with the public.
Absolutely, but usually there's also more questions. So it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
just a quick. It's not just a quick answer.
No, it's-
Right.
Yeah, I
There's
think
more questions.
there will always be questions.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah,
So we want to answer those.
So while we're here, do you have any questions of us?
No, sir. I know there's a few other agenda items that regard the Barrett Solar project.
Yeah.
So we're happy to
Okay.
wait and talk about those. However y'all.
Mr. Ford, did you have any other questions with respect to this matter? Okay. I think that concludes my questions. I would say that there's no further action necessary at this time. Would everyone agree with that? So having said that, we want
And so just to clarify all of that, like over the last, Mr. Frappier, how long have you been sweating me about all this stuff? 6 months?
I wouldn't say sweating.
I was sweating.
A year, probably a year.
when he left my office, he was happy yesterday. I'm not sure what your problem is.
I don't know what it is either. But whenever he brought all this to my attention, all of that stuff was not where we could get our hands on it. So I'm assuming Mr. Snowden and the county has this stuff somewhere, but I can't find it. Well, finally I lucked out and met Daniel or emailed Daniel, and all of a sudden it was just like bang, bang, bang. We had it, but it was in a hard drive that was not accessible to us. So they had been providing all this information over the years, but we just couldn't access it. I was confident that we had it, but just in the last 3 or 4 days, the mountain has been available to all of us. So we've been trying, they've been doing their job, but we didn't know they were doing their job because it was going to people that are no longer here. So it was neat. It's neat to see it all coming back together. And as soon as they get those taxes paid, we'll be happy campers. Just wait until I say hold that check until April, if you would. 9% more.
What day does it go late?
It's late already.
Earn another.
Oh.
When? March the 1st. That's a long time to wait. Let's see. Will that- I wonder why y'all overnighted it. So there's no other action necessary on this one. So I think with respect to number 15, I placed this item on the agenda thinking that more was necessary. I was just thinking in advance. But I would make the motion, well, it's to discuss and consider scheduling a public hearing to address public concerns over the Barrett Solar Project. And by my way of thinking, it should be tabled, but unless you all believe differently, that would be what I would propose it would do.
Talking about, are we talking
To
about
have a public
number
hearing for the
15?
for the
Yeah,
Barrett Solar Project number 15.
leave that for our public hearing.
I say, can we just include that with the March 6th and March 10th
We
dates?
probably could.
Yes. Okay. Great.
You want to just
That's a form of a motion.
motion? Okay, we have a motion to consider a public hearing on top of the public hearing.
Second.
And the second for the 2 dates, March the 6th and March the 10th, at
Yeah.
the times that were previously stated. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. We seconded. All those in favor? Aye. So that passes. Discuss and take action. Number 16, discuss and take action adopting the Rains County guidelines and criteria for granting tax abatements. Again, I placed this one on the agenda in anticipation of everyone wanting to move forward with a tax abatement, so we can either vote to look at creating a new tax abatement, which we should probably have in place at some point.
Mhm.
But I don't have it prepared to deliver to you today because of the timing of everything.
Let's table it.
Table.
Table it. Is there a motion to table it?
So move.
Table it.
Second.
Second.
Third, fourth.
From two different parties. Did you get that? All those in favor? Aye. So that's table. Discuss and take action, number 17, on the adoption of a temporary moratorium on the permitting construction and related activities for new battery storage systems called BESS and other green energy projects within Rains County pursuant to the authority granted under Texas Health and Safety Code 121.003 in order to protect the public health and safety and to provide time to verify compliance with existing state laws, including but not limited to the Lone Star Infrastructure Protection Act, House Bill 3824, Best Energy Response and Safety Reporting Requirements, along with the NFPA 855 Fire Safety Code, and any other ongoing investigations by the Texas Attorney General's Office regarding battery components.
So moved.
To discuss it or
Let's
to take it?
discuss it.
To discuss it. We have a motion to discuss
Sorry.
it.
Yes.
Second.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. So let's discuss it.
I'll just say, I feel like this kind of falls back under item
Yeah.
12. Similarly, I know it says public hearings and stuff, and that's where we decided to make that decision, but I think we're in the same situation here where we need more information. We need to figure out if we want to hire a consulting firm, possibly the letter of engagement that I sent to y'all earlier this morning, to decide what approach we have. I don't believe at this point right now we have our ducks lined up in a row enough to do any kind of moratorium. I think we have a lot more legwork to do before it's possible to be done. And I think my opinion is that we do more. I think we have more, hopefully, more answers than questions next week when we meet at some point. And maybe at that split in the road, we make a different decision. But I think acting in any attempt to adopt a temporary moratorium at this point would be a mistake.
Any other comments?
I feel the same. To just move it on until next Friday, so that we can ask questions. I like that better.
Yep. I agree with that. There's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of legal consequences to every action that we take with respect to that. I think there's other ways to skin the cat, but again, I placed it on here just to put it out here. We can't talk separate together, so
Right.
I put it up here at the table, and I'm good with that. And so, you want to table it for today?
Move to table.
Move to table.
Second.
Have a second from Mr. Cook. All those in favor? Aye. That passes unanimously. Discuss the hiring of one or more law firms to assist with the actions taken on any matters listed in paragraphs 12, 13, 14, 16, and 17. And I think, again, we're going to have legal help at some point. My concern here was, we can, thank you guys for coming. We'll see you on the 6th. In addition to hiring a consultant, we'll need to have some help legally to understand this all, because it's far more complicated than what one may think. But for the time being, I think we can table this one too.
Agreed. You need a motion?
Motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion to table in a second. All those in favor? Aye. And just for public clarity, this isn't to say that this isn't going to be considered or looked at. This was just, I wanted to come, guns loaded, get as much of it done as we could today, but we don't have the data to make a good decision with respect to how we want to proceed. That's why we're going to hold more public hearings. Discuss and take action on
Can we possibly skip to 21 then, since this is all going to be meshed into those responsibilities, possibly?
You can. Yeah, sure.
I mean, instead of talking about the
Is there a motion to move 21 up to
school fund.
number 19? You're making that form of a motion. We have a motion.
I thought you were asking.
And we have a motion to move 21 up to 19. I'll second that. All those in favor? Aye. That passes unanimously. Please proceed. Discuss and take action on the hiring of a fire marshal or the hiring of a third-party company to handle the responsibilities of the fire marshal. And
I move to discuss.
move to discuss.
Second.
Second. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
I'm gonna vote it.
Okay. I can't turn my head fast enough.
You want me in this speaker?
Yes, this, I was wanting to see if, Ed Emick would like to come up and speak about
Okay.
the responsibilities of a fire marshal.
Yeah, do you want to come up and
Ed?
speak now?
Put him to sleep first.
Really? So he can- I know. Well, so I have been, personally, I, as I said earlier, I don't want the responsibility of being a fire marshal. I have no clue what I'm doing. So, and Mr. Emick here has been, he's AAA electric. He's been a fireman. He's also the fire marshal for the city of Emory. And, acting, right. And
I acquired the fire marshal position because my fire marshals kept running themselves off, so to speak now. But I was a fire chief here, most of you know and don't know. I was a fire chief here for 30 years. And fire marshal job, I just took it as part of my, I've had fire marshals, and it was a title and not a job. So I ended up doing most of the inspections and doing all the knowledge and research and all that for years. And it's just a backlog of history, how I got it. So, every time you have a foster care facility, a child where you're going to take in foster children, you have to be inspected by a fire marshal to make sure the premises are safe to require. And every time in nursing home, every year they get an inspection. Excuse me. What happens when you sit too long and get dry?
Use some water.
No, I'm good. I mean, you just text me a minute. You should have been wound up already. Anyway, I've been doing the inspections, business inspection for years, all the way back into from 1982 to 2012 was my 10-year years. Now, because they didn't have a fire marshal when I retired from being fire chief, I got the fire marshal title. So, well, can't you continue to do what you've been doing? And I can, so I have been. The thing about the fire marshal's office is I currently do it for the city. Not because I'm qualified, it's because I'm the only guy that has been doing it and knows exactly who to contact and what to do. And plus, on top of that, if I don't know anything about something, I research it till I find out. And then I become familiar with it and comfortable with the position. Think about it, I've been talking to commissioner judges for about this particular position for the county since Lloyd McKinney was the county judge. Lloyd McKinney, Dick Chisholm, Joe Ray Doherty, Dempsey Bullock, Linda Wallace, Wayne Wolf, rest his soul. And I've been through every one of them as a fire chief. And this year's, and I said, we need a fire marshal because eventually we were gonna end up getting overrun by Dalmatites. That was my joke back then. I'm not saying it's the case, but so I said, we're gonna get overrun a little bit. We're gonna have our pants down and not be able to catch up. Well, guess what? We're at that point where our pants are down and we can't run because our pants haven't been pulled up yet. That's where we are today. Is I've been harping this tune for 30 years and no one has paid attention. I'm not chastising the current commissioner's court, don't get me wrong. His attrition hasn't been the desired need. But I'm in construction, as most of you know. I've been doing construction. I've been in business as well for 48 years. I'm in the electrical contracting business. So it works, coincides with my fire marshal because I'm familiar with Life Safety 101, current code on handicap restrictions and so forth, and chemical storage and analysis. All that stuff is just part of what I do in construction because I'm an electrical contractor. I have to know all these things as part of my job. So as we get to this point now, I've asked about, we get back to the first subject, I talked to every county judge that we've had since I've been a resident here about this. And I said, I've been told you cannot create a fire marshal's office without the commissioner's court creating and forgive me for not knowing what you call an amendment to his county charter or whatever. You have to create a fire marshal's office before it can be a fire marshal's office. You don't have the authority because you don't have it established. It has to be line item as a expenditure for the court. So I'm saying we were a little bit premature on this fire marshal thing, I think, because we haven't gotten anything. You got to create the office before you can offer an office. You don't have a fire marshal's office. You act as a fire marshal like I act as a fire marshal for the city of Emmett because they requested me. And I always make the joke that I feel like Al Pacino in Godfather 3. Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. And here I am. And I still keep doing it because I care about my community. I care about fire issues and safety. All the issues these gentlemen were talking about previously would have been covered through the fire marshal's review initially. Because it's gases, they're explaining about gases and all that, and whether or not they're heavier than air or lighter than air. The object is what's the dissipation rate. So if you have a fire in an electrical panel, 90% of the time I've seen countless solar farms over the years that I've worked at and worked for. The thing is, I've seen hundreds of cracked and broken panels just stacked up out there. Nobody's concerned about it because the chemicals used that they're concerned about actually has a dissipation rate fast enough that it's not harmful to humans. In other words, if you can understand what I'm saying here, is that whatever they're doing, most of the time the components that cause fires are created by fires, or the inverters, or the chargers, than anything else electrically powered. Those are the things that will catch fire because they can overheat or malfunction or whatever. Most of the time panels are, you unplug them, there's nothing to them. hail hits them and they crack, there's nothing to it. I'm not suggesting that there's not something being omitted, but the fire marshal's review of the product, MSDS sheets and all that that's entailed with looking through the documentation would have been covered. All these questions, you wouldn't have had to do anything but call your local fire marshal and say, did you look at that? What was the fire rating on it or whatever, and then that page right here. You know, you're good. It's within tolerable amount, subject by law. In other words, I hope that makes some sense here. I'm not. Anyway, as far as the fire marshal, I think you're in you're in a good place, you're in a good mode for creating the office. I think but in order for just hitting the ground running, you're gonna last a week and then they're gonna turn in their resignation because we're not established yet. Whether how you want to do it, what you want to do.
Yeah, it's not presently even funded.
I'm sorry?
It's not even funded
It's
yet.
not even funded.
Yeah.
Lori talked to me on the phone about it, and I said, I'll be happy to come up here and chatter for 5 to 10 minutes and whatever you would like me to do.
Yeah, I think this motion was, and it's your motion, Corey, but it wasn't to like hire him today. It was just
I get
setting
that.
the motion.
I was trying to just
Yeah.
give you the idea
Just a,
that we're, it's something worthwhile to look at.
Yeah.
Something to advertise, whether you want to advertise, see how much interest you got. I'm not necessarily talking myself out of it, but there's probably everything that I've learned. I worked for the sheriff's office as well for 35 years, and when I first started as a deputy, just a quick story, is we didn't have any crime scene technicians to do fingerprints and documentation. I said, well, I started going to classes in schools. I went to FBI training school under profiling individuals under homicides. I went to bloodstain pattern analysis school. Before long, I had more knowledge than everybody else. So the sheriff said, guess what? You've been elected to being a crime scene technician and you're going to show up. And I've showed
it's funny
up
how that works.
for every homicide that this county's had in the last 35 years. Because, there again, the same thing happened how I became fire marshal. But nobody else wanted to do the job, and I volunteered. And I took the position as part of my fire chief responsibility. So, at that point, I'm tooting my own horn, but I cared about the community. I love this living here. I've been here for 45 years and don't intend to go anywhere. As a judge,
Are you volunteering to help, Ed?
That's what I was wondering.
Are you volunteering to help us out?
I am volunteering to help them do. I'll do anything. If you want me to, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know that I am here
Yes, sir.
at your disposal if you just call me and ask me. I'm trying to be retired or retarded, whichever word you want to use.
Do you get paid by the city of Emory?
I do not. I do that as a voluntary. I do all the reviews on,
Wow.
fire mark.
It's a heavenly reward that he's paid. Yeah.
Wow.
I've been doing it for so long for free because I thought it was part of my duty. I worked for the sheriff's office and as a fire chief. Went to pay for my own school because I cared. That's just as simple as it is. I wasn't gaining anything other than people knew who I was. Most everybody in the court knows who I am. And I'll be there if you need me. I'll bring the show if I have to.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so that, any
Thank you,
questions?
Ed. Thank you for coming.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was thinking.
Is there additional, and I'm completely ignorant to this, is there additional licensing and things you have to have as
That's something I was going to research. I was going to wait till Glory and I talked about it, and I said, you know, there's certain, and Mike might know better than I do what the criteria to be a fire marshal is. It's kind of like being in the military. We need a volunteer. There's no steps back with me. I'm standing here.
Don't you have to be TCOL certified?
Yeah, if you're gonna write citations and stuff.
If you write any citations or you do
Yeah,
any
be law
legal
enforcement.
filings, now I was a master peace officer with the sheriff's office. That's when I occupied. I was able to do investigations and
Oh, yeah.
issue warrants or
Sheriff,
stuff.
is that TCO certified, Master?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Master just means it's top of the line.
Top of the line, top
Top
shelf.
of the line.
So,
Wow.
I made it to the top.
Does that get licensed through your agency, Sheriff? How does that work?
County fire marshals, I would think that they probably have their own entity and they have their own.
They will have their own entity. The fire marshal for the county will have his own entity.
Own office, okay.
Oh,
All right.
Can I make this suggestion that during budget time, we look at adding
yes.
that position to the next budget? I talked to Ken yesterday, the chairman of the ESD. They're willing to help
Help us.
fund it.
Yeah.
And they're
Certainly are.
looking forward to it. So
Yeah.
if we can just do
80-20?
Huh?
80-20?
I,
20.
probably
They
us
might.
80 and them 20?
Yeah.
they
No,
might.
I think a little.
Well, when I spoke to him, he had told me they could possibly throw 20 to 30 towards our way.
30,000 or
But they're
30%?
very interested in it. They would
20
like,
to
they would like to
30,000.
see it happen too.
But they need to talk to, he needs to talk to the board and all that, but
Okay.
they see the need also for our
Okay.
county to have.
So let's just
Fire marshal.
pass on this until budget time and look at a position
Okay.
and how it would be funded.
Yeah.
There's a lot with law enforcement. I think they need to be an arson investigator. They have to be schooled in fire prevention, all the codes.
Yeah, that's all. That's,
Codes. That it's not going to be somebody you can just drag off the street. And it needs to be somebody that's willing to, if they don't have the training, to go get the training.
Sure.
Be better to have somebody that's already trained, but probably you can't find that. So the county would have to also budget for some training for them to get
Sure.
these
now
certifications.
you can do a fire marshal's office and the requirements, as long as you're not having somebody issue any citations or do any inspections or arrests or any of that stuff, but you're just strictly a paper pusher. You can do a fire marshal's office through your own agency and with less qualifications. If you want to make it just a office of fire marshal for reviews for projects like we're discussing today, you don't necessarily need, we don't have that much for a certified arson investigation, all that stuff. The state comes in, anytime we suspect we have a homicide, the state will send up in their own investigators to assist, especially during fire deaths or unrelated fire deaths. Like
Okay, so how it works now is if we have a fire involving the death of a person, myself or Chief Renshaw will call the state fire marshal's office. They have to respond. Sometimes the response is 2 hours. So it delays the process. As far as the arson side of the investigation, the sheriff's office does the investigations with the help of fire marshals. They come out, recreate the crime scene, fly the drones, do all the fancy stuff. They send us a report, and then we do a criminal investigation and send that to whatever the result will go to the DA's officer, grand jury referral, or we file forms for the subject.
Wow.
Now, don't limit yourself by, just trying to think you need a full-blown, armored up.
Well, do we want to have a person, do we want to accept his willingness to volunteer to help with the pipe pusher?
That's up to you.
It's up to him, right?
It's up to y'all. I mean, if you ask me to help, I'm happy to do so.
I'm asking you, Ed, would you help
Yeah.
Rains County
I can
in
help.
the fire
Is that
marshal
something we need to vote on?
capacity?
I was
Mike Willis is fixing to retire, so maybe he'll be a.
Maybe reach out to County Road, make sure it's legal.
Okay.
I was gonna check with them.
I think we need to go at it
Van
as
Zandt
budget.
County and
Budget.
Hopkins County, they got both of them. have
Starting
fire
volunteer on the
marshals.
side.
I
So,
bet both of them.
Can I real quickly? The reason I put this on here is because in order, so in talking with the Dr. Steele, the consultants, right, up on code and the HFPA stuff. He's not a fire marshal, right? He's a consultant. He said you would need a fire marshal to help us actually. What word am I looking for? He's going to give
Enforce it.
to enforce it. And so my hope, again, the reason some of this stuff comes on here and we decide, hey, it's not something we can do right now, is because we had to have had this on this days ago, right? So sometimes the chips don't fall where they're supposed to by the time we get here. So my hope was, one, I spoke with Kevin Palmer out of Van Zandt County. My hope was that we could contract with him and find a way to contract through. Hold the pause real quick. He doesn't have time. And so that was my intent by having this. And then I didn't know what else we could come up with in process. That's why it says multiple things on here. But again, the consultant said he's got people, if we need to, that can act on that until we get back to budget time we're definitely in a weird spot not having one and having this at our doorstep right now. But again, there's ways to circumvent it for the time being. It was more about, I didn't know if Kevin was going to be able to, then I wanted to have this here where we could have something for him and start the process. Ed, I want to say, I commend you for always offering to volunteer, for everything. It's a bad spot to get in sometimes, but
Well, here's the number one thing, and I'll explain this real quick, because I'm involved in it almost monthly, is the fact that if they don't like the restrictions put on them inside Emory, they're going to move outside the city limits.
Yeah.
If you don't have anybody covering your tail, they're going to put up whatever they can get by with. I can take you to 15 buildings down here that were shady. And if I didn't cover it, make some attempt, that's what I'm getting at, is we've reached that point now where our migration from populous cities to the non-populous cities, they're going to build where they think they can get away with whatever they want to get away with. That's the biggest issue that I see from my deal, because I deal with them every day. I deal with these folks every day.
And you can also make a dual purpose to where they're a code inspector too. So the county's futures plans to update your codes and policies and procedures for ordinances, they can also maintain.
Now that we have created a code.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Statutorily, we don't need a fire marshal until we have 250,000 people, right?
Right.
We are the fire marshals.
We are the fire marshal.
Show me this.
So Van Zandt County just got one in the last year.
they've had one a while, but they've turned over
Gotcha.
quite a bit.
And that Van Zandt,
Yes.
yeah, they've had one for, back when I was chief, they still have one. I talked to him.
Oh.
I'll nominate Mr. Willis to be the fire marshal.
No,
There you go.
I'm done.
Congratulations, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you, Ed.
So I think for me,
Done.
the discussion of the fire marshal, I agree. I think we're still premature right now. My hopes is that I can put it back on a future agenda and I can find someone, whether it be, again, through a contracted third-party service or if a neighboring county has a fire marshal that is willing to help us out until we can get back in that position, new budget year. So we'll probably put it on there again because I don't want something to pop up last minute. I have the opportunity but not have it prepared to follow through with. So I'll continue to work on that, but I'll also, I don't think on this, just reading the letter of engagement that I sent to you guys on the consulting side, I don't think this falls under where we can do it. So if it's okay with the court, put it back on it, and it'd give you more time to read it, double check it. And then two, when it comes up, we can limit funding startup on it and proceed that way. But I think that's the same conversation. Fire marshal, the consulting stuff will probably be a discussion at the same time.
Okay.
And by then, when we talk about it again, I'll have a backup plan through him if we can't find the fire marshal, how we proceed.
Right.
Okay, with it.
That might be a more step-by-step process that's written down. We can do that. Figure it out. All right.
So that's tabled.
Yep.
Tabled, yeah.
That's total.
Okay, so back to 19.
Back to 19. Discuss and take action on the investment report for Q4 permanent school fund.
Oh,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Mike Willis just told me to be quick, so I'm going to draw this out because this is all good news. Since we've got enough people here to pay attention, permanent school funds. How many people in the crowd know what the permanent school fund is?
2,
Three.
3,
Permanent school fund?
2.
County permanent school.
Uh-oh, look at him.
County permanent school fund.
The
Sorry
state
about that.
full school fund, and there's a county fund.
Chuck knows.
Anyway, Rains County was blessed to get a section of land 100 years ago. Permanent school fund. The state of Texas gave us the land. The land was sold, but then we got it back when it was foreclosed on. Then they found oil underneath it. So Rains County gets a check every month. Approximately, it depends on the price of oil, but over the last quarter, it was about 80.
It's not just one oil well, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, the last quarter we received $85,325.71. I say we. It goes into this permanent school fund. I don't know. I don't remember how I got nominated to be the chief of the investment committee.
Doing a great job.
But myself, Judge Hilliard, Mike Hall from the school, Tammy, and the treasurer are on this board or committee. And we take that money and when I first came into office, all the money was invested in our local banks, in CDs. We can't go buy Bitcoin with it. We can't buy futures. We can't buy anything like that. It's got to be safety is the priority to take care of this money. Liquidity is our second biggest concern, and yield, making money off of it, is our third biggest concern. So over the last couple of years, I've met a couple of great. He's here still. He came back. Met a couple of great advisors, and we just started seeking ways to make more money. Some of the local banks were a little disappointed with us from taking money out of their vaults and moving it around, but it's been tremendous for the school. So right now there's about
$46,000.
$9,546,000 in there. Like I said, those deposits from the oil wells come in every month. They kind of stack up. We've got the money laddered so that whatever investments we're in mature at different times. From now until our oldest investment is about 10 years out. Phil, is that right? 10 years?
Yes, that's correct.
Yep. So just to give you the summary, well, let me back up one more time. So we've got this chunk of money. We get more money in oil wells from the oil wells. That kind of stacks up too. So we just keep investing. The only way that the school can get this money is by coming to Commissioner's Court and asking for it. That hasn't happened under any of our, well, Mike,
Yeah, it is.
Mike spent the money, but
Oh,
he's a dinosaur.
I've spent it from the schools thing and from county as well.
So if the-
Talk about the available school fund, because that's where the interest
Yep.
accumulates. That's the big deal.
So we've got the corpus, which is the $9,500,000. The interest that we make off of that every year, the school gets it. The school, Rains, Alba,
Lone Oak, Miller Grove, and Alba all
Yeah.
have, it's on a per student basis.
Yep.
They have students in our county.
So the more money it makes every year, the more interest it makes every year, the more money goes out to the school. We're talking $400,000. It's not $400,000 is a lot of money, but for a school, it's not a lot of money.
And Jeremy, they get that without requesting.
Correct.
Yes, it's
Correct. Once a
automatic.
year.
If they wanted something big, a new building, they would have to come to us and ask, and we would have to decide: do we want to chip into this $9.5 million, or I guess we could say no. They've built the baseball field, the softball field,
Excuse
the football field.
Half of the current high school, I believe.
And the elementary school. And the roof on the old building that's out there.
So the great thing is I don't know if before my time anybody paid attention, but I've been fortunate enough to have investment guys and a committee that was into making it run the best it can. So bottom line, we're supposed to give this quarterly report, $9.5 million. If anybody wants to sit down and talk about all of it, we can. But the average return on all of that is 4.43%. It's in CDs, it's in treasuries, it's in collateralized mortgage obligations. We're really rocking and roll with it, and that's it. So
I would like to add though that like if Rains comes in and asks for a project and we'll say they're asking for $2.5 million, the other schools would also get some kind of a percentage
That's right.
based on
On
that
a per
as well.
student basis.
Yes.
but
So the other schools would get it just because we would
Just
give it to
because
one.
we've dispersed it, they would get it also.
And I don't know if Jeremy touched on this or not, but the school is limited on what they can use those
Yes.
funds for.
Yeah.
They cannot be for maintenance and operations or anything like that, just to clarify.
Yeah, they're restricted on what they can use it for.
Yes.
but that's it. We'll see you in a quarter, and hopefully we'll have more
10
money.
million.
10 million.
Yeah.
do we need to receive the report or anything special?
Probably need to
Move we
record it.
enter it into the minutes.
Enter to the minutes.
Second.
Second. Who made the first one?
I did. He seconded it.
All right. All those in favor, aye.
Huh?
That's unanimous. Next is to discuss and take action on accepting a letter of engagement on on-call services from CapEx Consulting.
We don't need that now, I don't think. We're not gonna do an abatement.
Right. So,
Corey?
I would tell you that the main reason that I put this on here was we've just used them in the past with the last abatement. And then, I feel like if a man's job is consulting and we're going to request his opinion on something, then he should be able to be reimbursed for it. And this came up after he sat in with Jeremy and I when we talked with the battery Majewski project. And so it came up then that, and he was fine with it, not getting paid for this. Our letter of engagement has now expired. And so I thought it was the right time to put it back on there. I don't know. I'll entertain whatever conversations from the court need to be had. I did. Again, for me, he's been the guy who's answered any questions I've had. Maybe we don't need that anymore. For me, it's the way I saw it is kind of like having an outside counsel and retainer somewhere in case we're hit with something I'll say me, that I don't understand. Then I feel like I have the right to reach out and get information. But I want feedback from y'all.
Well,
It's getting late in the day, but all that pile of stuff, all those regulations, the main reason that we went with a abatement in the beginning with the other deal is that act that was passed this last year. What is it? Can't remember what it is.
Lone Star.
Lone Star,
Yeah.
whatever it is, had not passed. They did it the last session. So actually, there was no restriction. We didn't have anything. So that's all the stuff that with the questions, all the things that he came through, all those things are incorporated into that abatement.
Yeah.
So at that time, it was worthwhile, I think, because the state had not acted on it. We needed to hold them to the fire. People don't know that, but that's part of it. So we'd have that leverage.
Sure.
If you don't do this, we'll take your abatement away. So that's good. I mean, it was good. And you made good points when we were talking about the abatement on the other deal. But I don't think we need to keep him on if we're not going to use him. And I think if we come up with a situation where we do need him, I think he'll be happy to help us.
What does he charge?
$350 an hour.
$350 an hour?
Yeah, $350 an hour is his on-call rate. Now, I believe if we read through that and see it, if we have that, if we're using him, we have questions. Say with the Majewski battery project, we have questions for him. He may be billing us at a $350 an hour rate, and then once we decide, if we ever decided to then enter into a tax abatement, and he's the consulting firm that does it, then that money would go towards that, and then the total of $30,000 would be recouped from the company in the
Well,
abatement.
he did the work on the other abatement. They paid.
The same thing,
So
right? And that's what I'm saying is if we did that, say we run up $1,000 bill talking, and then we decide to enter into abatement, then
that's added.
that would credit back towards us on that.
What if the plan is to not necessarily consider tax abatements?
Fixing it. I got claps earlier, and I'm probably not fixing to, but
There may be other things.
I bet to say,
we're not talking about just best.
What else does he offer?
I'm not anti-abatement, right? I'm pro best for Rains County,
Right.
and so in his, if you give me 2 seconds,
What else does he consult on?
so
Abatement on it.
anything.
Hotel or
So even on this one, so when we had the conversation with Matrix Renewables on this battery project, the main thing they wanted to get ahead of and get started on was road use agreements and just things like that. He even said that was one of the things he does is road use agreements. Now, full transparency, because you can all get these documents this afternoon if you want them. In this, charges $7,500 for a road use agreement. Again, he said if we decide to go on a road use agreement, even if we don't do an abatement, part of that is I write the road use agreement, but we do not do that until we obligate them to pay that road use agreement for y'all.
But even if he writes the road use agreement, we still have to get it approved by council. I think a lot of that we can get done if we're going to. If
we have to prove anything he does.
Yeah, if we want it for the purposes of the comfort of a tax abatement.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think the division line needs to be with him. Is like when you look at the abatements that we've done, or when I've summarized it, there's some things that should be done by a law firm, and there's some things. And I told Jeremy this when y'all were negotiating it. Some things should be done by a law firm, and some things should be done by a consultant.
Mm-hmm.
But I could go either way on that.
And
I wouldn't
can
want to pay $7,500 for something we can get from Daniel.
I was going to say, actually, I just sent that to Diane and Casey, and I sent it to Corey. Daniel rewrote our road use agreement.
Yeah.
And I got it this morning. So it's 3 pages long instead of one little paragraph.
On the modeling and stuff like that, we can get that done through a law firm. Like the entire, I actually have a quote for an abatement right now. I got it last year when I first came on for the BEST project, around $9,000, and the guy that teaches it at Texas Tech University, he's been doing abatements. I've worked with him since 2006.
And what was $9,000?
His entire fee for the negotiation of the entire tax abatement transaction.
But we're not going to pay for that either way, right?
it'd be passed on, but that's just an example. Like,
Okay.
so he has his own financial modeling. He has his own, he's a lawyer. He's done a lot of them. But having said that, it's also not uncommon to see, like in Fannin County, Snowden worked with another lawyer in that firm. I'm just listening to mine right now, but they worked together to negotiate a tax abatement for an AI plant. It's going to be like $9 billion AI plant. So there are places where they work together. But I'm open to doing. I could go either way with it as long as we manage get the best bang for the buck where we're going to. Like from a legal standpoint, that's my opinion. It should be a law firm. If it's the financial side of it and the benefit that, like he serves on our appraisal board, right? Is he on our?
No, he's
not on ours. Okay, so he does serve on some appraisal boards.
Yeah.
So there are, pardon?
Delta County.
I mean,
Delta
Delta
County.
County.
So there are places where I think it would be beneficial to have him.
Do we have to have this letter of engagement to use him if something comes up and we need to call him and employ him for something?
Yes, but also at that time, let's say it comes from 2 months from now, as long as we don't make him so mad he tells us no, then we could probably enter into letter of engagement at that time.
I still think we need to do it right now.
Right now.
So since
And I like
you have a lot
I like
more
it,
experience in
yeah.
this area, do you have somebody else that you know that if this comes up that we'd be able to reach out and have questions? That's my main thing, is not having the security of someone to reach out to and say, hey, I've got questions I need answers to.
It's not fair to get it for nothing.
Right. That's the
Right.
problem.
That was your point.
Yes. If I'm going to ask the
That's
man
what I'm
for
hearing.
information, then and that's his business. He should be reimbursed for it.
If that's what you're after, then we should vote to be. It's unfair to take advantage of people that do this for a living, and I do think there is a place where he adds value.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if that's something that we want to do, then no,
Again,
I don't know anyone that's going to do it for free.
From what I read, I don't feel like there's any obligation to pay him unless we use him.
Well, sure,
Right.
right. But I mean, if you call them, like,
Yes.
to answer your question, I don't have someone that you could call
Mhm.
outside someone in my staff in my own company which would be self-serving,
Right.
that is going to answer your questions for free. So,
I'll
and
tell you what.
I think it's disrespect. That was my whole initial conversation with Mr. Snowden. Was like I felt uncomfortable having him intervene or work with that best battery project because we don't have a contract with him. I'm like, to have him do this stuff for free was awkward.
Then I kind of, not for him in particular, but I feel like there's almost a liability too, where if you're not paying the man, he gives you information and you ever needed to back that documentation up, that it really wouldn't
It's
exist.
just not right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is what I'm going to move, and we can proceed, or it can be voted down. So I'd like to accept a letter of engagement for on-call services from CapEx Consulting.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Have a second. Any further discussion?
So if we've got him on board, but there's nothing going on, we're not paying anything.
We're not paying.
Right. It's not
Yeah.
costing anything, but we have a letter. And
I do like the guy.
I do like
All those in
the guy,
favor?
too.
He's got a lot of information.
All right, that's unanimous. Awesome.
$22.
22.
That's you.
Discuss and take action. Discussing assignment of office space in the Hill Building. Motion to consider that.
So moved.
So move. Second.
Second.
Second from Cook. All those in favor? Aye. Let's talk about that one.
So I don't know that decisions will be made today, but I wanted to say we have 7 office spaces in there. There's 7 office spaces. We're currently tying up everything. Hopefully one day next week, we're putting flooring in, go back, touch ups, finish up, trim work as far as in the bathrooms, things like that. But 7 office spaces, and I want everybody to be thinking about what do we want to do, who should go in there, and try to start piecing that together.
I was glad you put this on the agenda. And I think it starts with where we want to office at first. I think we should decide what we want to do. I know at one time you were talking about switching offices with Christy. And I don't know if you don't have an office.
I like my partner, my roommate.
You have a chair and a file
I
cabinet.
do.
Some, like, is it good to have all of y'all, all of the county commissioners in the same building? I don't think it is.
Probably optics wise, we shouldn't all be in the same
Shouldn't have,
building.
so, I think we need to get that shuffled.
Mhm.
I mean, well, first of all, we all voted to let Corey decide this, right?
Yes.
Corey's not deciding.
And
this.
he's not
I
been willing to
noticed.
do it. So, and I don't blame him, it's a hot potato.
Yeah.
But that,
I do think two of us should move to that building.
to a building.
And now who those two are, it doesn't matter. I'm comfortable with where I'm at.
And if we're gonna move Chrissy, who's gonna move into the office behind the HR department? Because there's concerns about the walls being thin.
Yeah.
and
I thought that.
Very noisy.
noisy.
But it was a
It
records
has to be a
room.
female because there's shared bathrooms, so
Mhm.
it can't be a male, from what I've been told.
I
So-
had understood it was going to be a records room.
Oh,
Now, there's been
Correct.
conversation about, have you been, just how cluttered Stacy's office is
yeah,
now?
Uh-huh.
Just, I mean, she's HR, paperless.
right.
And so one of the thoughts that I had was turn that into a place for her to store her records. And then, we may not be far. And if she needed more help, part-time help, full-time help, whatever, then there'd be a way there to kind of rotate offices for whatever works best for that. So my hopes was that with opening up 7 office spaces over here, not counting the constable and his deputy, they're in their part. 7 additional ones, if we could free that office up, possibly move 2 commissioners over there, figure out where, Ms. Hopkins falls in there. There's been, the consideration of how much office space does she need? And there is one, the way it laid out to keep everything squared, there's one probably 10 by 10 office over there. Don't know how much room she needs. If there's the potential to put her in there, have another, if you move 2 commissioners out of here into here, there's 2 big offices here, and you still have 4 more available.
It should only be one at Arrington.
What is in? I thought the JP's
I
office.
volunteer.
Y'all share one.
I volunteer the new commissioner to move over to the other,
Yeah, that's what I had figured.
whoever it is.
Precinct 2 to be moved over there.
Let's put them in a little office. Work the way up.
Yeah.
Well, and I would just like to say, the office that Commissioner Wills occupies now, it's kind of a pass-through.
It's kind of a weird
Before
setup.
we did other rearranging and added more people over
Be a
there,
good work
that was
room.
actually the copier
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah.
workroom. where we
And this
kind
would
of
open us
spread
up to
out.
go back to that same
Yeah.
setup if we want to. So
Well, where's the JP going to go? Because I thought, according to from what I heard, there was ultimately going to be a JP court over there with like a little small mini.
Well,
I feel like that was an old
Is that an old
model, an old idea.
Because right now
There's-
it's set up front where
There's still enough room to do that. We
like change things out.
The way we-
There's that window.
we tried to make it a versatile
Yeah.
thing.
Uh-huh.
Now there's a room over there that's probably a 15 by 15 sized room, big conference table area in the open spot, and then probably a 10 by 10, which is relatively small, but it's just the way it fell. Probably, there's 2 probably 12, 13 by 12, 13 sized ones, and then there's 3 that are probably, probably a little bit larger than your office is currently.
Well, and originally the plan was because possibly by the 2030 census, we're going to need a second JP and a second constable. That was part of the thought process of some of that as well.
I don't see a reason why we're looking into a third courtroom. Actually, when we're deficient in space, office spaces anyways. So I think it's set up to where it could happen if it needed to be. I just don't know that right now that's exactly what would be best. But that's why it's on here, because I don't want to make that decision. So
Yeah, I don't know. I was just asking. The
Yeah.
question.
so what I'd like to see is, if nothing else, think about it. If you want to, go look at it. There's an access code in the back. If you want to, go look at it, get an idea for what you think. But I think in 2 weeks we need to nail it down.
can we
See who's
can we
going.
at least make a list of, at the moment, the only thing I've heard is precinct 2 wants to move over there.
I mean,
Precinct 1 or
You
3
didn't hear that.
wants,
Actually, you only heard that from Mike.
well, but I think that's a good
Precinct-
idea.
He's here
And
for
that
the-
be a
I think he deserves the biggest office.
that be a work.
He had it until he gave it up to Mr. Harvey.
Yeah.
I mean, I really think the easiest thing from my opinion, just knowing that your seat's going to turn over, and me not actually having an office. I mean, move 2 and 3 over there, and then
Precinct 3. That's
I mean the
two,
rest
yeah.
of it. I mean, do we want to move?
Could we move Christie over to her office?
Christie.
Not saying you can't. Then you're running the 3 commissioners back in the same building again.
No, Christie.
Right. You move Christie. Let's say Lori is our commissioner
Oh, yeah.
going forward. Move Christie and hers. Now you're moving 3 commissioners back into a thing. And to me, the optics of it
Across the
is
street.
Yes, Hill Building.
yes, back into the Hill
Okay.
building. Then you're putting 3 commissioners back together. Where if we're going to separate, then the best is to keep not 3 people in the same office at the same
So
time.
precinct 2, precinct 3, Christie Hopkins. We got 4 more offices left.
That's a good start.
That's a good start.
Anybody else want to move?
And I'll take the smallest office there. Don't matter to me.
Who else
Is that,
needs
is
an
that
office?
room
I
over
don't
there a
know
conference
who
room?
else needs an office.
Conference room?
So that one room is large enough to have a conference room, but we also set up similar to the commissioner's building here. The back, there's an open spot big enough for a conference table. Went ahead and wired it up for a TV to put up there in case presentations needed something like that. So,
And there is a table and 6 chairs. We bought some of the furniture from them when we purchased the building. So there already is a table and chairs to have.
so there's room for a conference table in an open area, but there's also a room over there big enough to be a conference room.
Sure.
Christie, what do you think about that?
Move.
What do I think about
Going up,
being over in a 10 by 10 room?
well, it could be a larger room.
I'll take the 10 by 10. Don't matter.
We're not going to put bars on it. I'm just kidding.
Well, Lori approached me that she wanted my office and told me I can have her office, so that was the original.
Right.
And now I'm being told I'm being sent over to the Hills.
Well, no, we're not
so
telling.
that's
We're just trying to figure out commissioners, since all 4 of us are over in the same building.
Yeah.
If
So
2 move,
it's all new to me. The original agreement was an office swap,
Yeah.
and now I'm being told I'm being moved over here,
Right.
and that I don't need any room to have an office.
oh,
In fairness, I don't know that I said you needed any room. I asked if you needed a bunch of room.
how much room do you
Yeah.
need?
I haven't been talked to about any of that. So.
Well, first time we're talking about it too. So, because I told him, you move me where you want me. Since we put him in
Right.
charge, I just told him to move me where if he didn't want me to move, that was fine, but whatever. But I told him that me and you had spoke,
Yeah.
and then he had mentioned that, or somebody mentioned that Stacy could use that room as a records room. And I said,
Right.
oh, okay. So whatever, but he's
Might be
in
with the
charge.
wall- What about this? Since the walls are so thin at that where Stacy's at currently, maybe she should come over here. The walls are all insulated in the new building, right?
Yes.
Maybe she
Oh.
should come to the new building where we have insulated walls and we have room for filing. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
less of a concern.
You could have the big room.
You'd have, it still leaves 2 offices and you're not taking an office that has an outside door that could be utilized by an individual. Because there's not a door between Stacy's office and that other office, than Christie's office, right? So if we brought Stacy over there, then she could have a place where it's total confinement. She shuts the door and it's quiet. Have you thought about that?
I haven't. It's also kind of an awkward situation over there at Stacy's office where, I mean, there's nothing. You knock on the door and it's
Yeah.
open. Surprise, who's here to see me
It's
today?
better security.
Yeah.
That could be an option.
Think about it. Let's mow it over. I'm like Mike. This is enough to think about today.
I don't know.
I'm already overloaded.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I say think about it, and we'll put it on 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks. Okay. Discuss and take action on the resolution to apply for the Homeland Security Grant. Is there a motion for that?
Move to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
No
So-
match.
Tell us about it.
All right. Just a quick update from last week. We hadn't gotten all of or 2 weeks ago, we hadn't gotten all the quotes in yet. So I said it was going to be in the $60,000-$80,000 range on the 2 grants. The criminal justice grant came to $81,356.54. That would be towards 2 vehicles for next year, upfitting, and some safety gear. The PSN grant came to
$750,000. That would be for a full vehicle, paid for a full vehicle and some equipment. And we're getting to apply. We got permission to apply for the series grant for $83,435 to go towards the radio project. They weren't sure if we were going to be able to do that. So those three are in application right now. I emailed you, but we did get approved. The Homeland Security, we knew we were getting that grant, but they said only $10,000. The state and NEDCOG are now giving us the full ask, $424,249.
Wow.
So that was from last week or 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
It's great news.
Homeland Security grant, we're waiting for some quotes to come in. That'll be also in the $60,000 to $80,000 range for the ask. The sheriff's office is wanting to redo the side door. It's not working properly. Replace it. They're wanting bollards in front of the entry doors because that's kind of an opening in the bollards right there in that area. Entry tools and a mobile command unit. So that will also be in the $68,000 to $80,000 range. No match.
No, man, that's the best kind.
That is great.
Well, that's already been approved, so you can sit down. Well, no, stay right there. We have one more. Discuss and take action on a resolution to sign Harris County agreement for the Tex Warren's first responder communications system. Motion. I make the motion. We approve
Second.
it. Second. Mrs. Northcutt.
Let's hear about it first.
Let's hear about it. All right. Just kind of slow it back down a little bit now.
Okay, so this is our new radio project, the radio tower radios. We're going to be on the Tex Warren system. We have to have an agreement with Tex Warren. That's their policy that they have an agreement with the county. And then the county will also have an agreement with TxDOT, who will be paying the fees. So this is just that agreement with Tex Warren. It has to also go through their commissioner's court, so we're trying to get it through ours.
Get it through ours, then it goes to them.
And it's been approved by legal counsel.
It has been approved.
Just vote on it.
Last night. All those in favor? Aye.
I think since she just pulled $500,000 out from her purse, that we give her whatever office she wants.
Yeah.
Well, that's up to Corey.
Thank
Give
you.
her the full office.
Yeah.
I'm not really comfortable making that decision by myself.
While we're talking about grants, I'd like to mention that we finished up this week with our tire cleanup grant.
Oh, yeah.
Our week-long annual grant, we were able to move 853 tires.
Wow.
Well, that's not on the agenda, but thank you for bringing it up.
Kept them out of a burn pile
53
somewhere.
tires. That's good.
Discuss and take action on inmate dental services agreement.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. This is to fix their teeth, I guess, right, Ms. Wolf? All those in favor? Aye.
Do we have a choice?
Receive, open, and select an award for multifunction printers, for various departments in Rains County, Texas, the county appraisal district. I make the motion that we
Open.
open the sealed envelopes. Second.
Sure.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Let's open them up.
Right, start by
Our auditor is the one that gets to open the sealed documents.
Thanks. Okay. RFP copiers.
And I would point that we have one vendor here today. Is there more than one vendor that is representing a bid?
I only see one here now, but that was on my hours.
He's the only tough one.
What?
Okay, this is from CPI. So did they send me some- You want to take a look at that one?
Do you have how much we were currently spending, Ms. Wolf,
Yes,
For
for
the-
the multi-copiers.
for the tax office? I mean, for the appraisal
Tax
district?
office.
Uh-huh.
150.20, 150.20.
Okay.
And that includes all the supplies and
What's that dollar number again?
15020, 150,
$150.20 per copier.
$150.20
Per copier.
per copier.
Well, there's only one copper over there.
For the cat.
Oh, for the cat.
This could become a long, arduous process. So their bid came in at $184.74 with the copies.
Who
What'd you
did?
say it was?
Who did?
150.20.
$150.20. So that would be an increase in the budget.
This is what? CPI?
CPI came in at
What-
184.74. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Never mind.
That's what I say.
It's
Always.
one has more options on this than the other one. The first, their bid came in at there's two different buyouts. So for a 60-month dollar out buyout, the bid for this office for the appraisal district came in at $96.40. Bid for 60 months fair market value is $88.34 plus plus copies. They're charging by the click for copies. Their copy cost is .008 for black and white and .05 for color for both of those quotes. I did that one.
That's CPI.
That one was easy.
You think?
We're looking at just the CAD.
That was just for CAD. For the benefit of the public, we have multiple copy machines around the county, printers. My office has been working on this for, Ms. Wolf has actually been the one working on this for several months. We got right to the finish line and then found out from our auditor that we had to have these sealed bids, so we kind of had to start all over again. So we're opening up these sealed bids today to figure out.
Was that just for CAD?
That was for CAD.
Okay, they were supposed to submit 2 bids.
They did.
She just
Fair
did.
market value and dollar buyout.
No, I meant
Oh,
for CAD.
you
and
got
for the
CPI right
multi-
there.
I'm sorry?
For CAD and for the multi-department.
That's what you got in your hand right now.
I was just what I was handling.
There's RFP 1 and RFP 2.
That's the
One is
second
for
one.
the judge's
Oh,
office.
this is the second one?
This is the second one right here. Oh, okay.
All right, this is the second one for, I'm not sure which office this is for. This is appraisal district, yeah. Again. So this bid here came in at, for the fair market value, 60 month, $137.92. For the 60-month dollar buy at 150.51. The same CPC rates as before. And this is for a Sierra,
Yeah, the other one was for a Conica Minolta.
Conica Minolta. So it's the same bid, just two different products.
It was just had some other detail on it, sounds like. This litter opener malfunctions, I inherited it from Jeremy.
It's just got treatment with it.
Mm-hmm.
Or use it to stick things with. Oh, this is another bid for an Epson printer. Same, so it's CPI again for the same department, which is the appraisal district. They're bidding an Epson printer. And their bid for that is for the fair market value of $105.19, so $105.19 for 60-month fair market value, and $114.78 for a 60-month dollar buyout.
And who was that?
It's CPI again, but it's for an Epson printer instead of
They sent
Yes,
three
sir.
different ones.
Oh,
they bid 3 different products.
This is Budget Business Systems.
We told them we didn't care what they put in the appraisal district. Kidding. This for the that's for the whole product. There's a multiple number of products in that. You know what? Since you're here, come on up and read your proposal to us. Tell us what you did. And I apologize, I forgot your name. Chris, yeah. I'll let you read it off. Does this include the appraisal district?
Yeah, we basically.
Yes.
Okay, would you go to the mic and I'll get you to read it off?
We appreciate you sitting in court all day long.
Chris is a very patient man.
Very.
Trust me, we run him through the ringer.
Is either patient or hungry?
Really?
Well, either way, it's kind of,
Jeez.
we may be hungry by the time we get out.
I need to buy us dinner.
I have gummy fruits if anybody.
I'm going to go to show us now. That's fine.
Hey, did you want
Randy.
the appraisal district first?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, appraisal district, the copy that we're recommending on 60-month FMV, the price is $98.38. And on the 60-month dollar buyout is $106.32.
And what's the CPC rates?
CPC on black and white is .006, and color is .054.
And while she's, well, you have another one ready, or these copy machines, the reason for replacing them is the machines we have are 10 years old.
They're 10 years old.
You actually have most of the machines. Your
Correct.
company does, and so these have all the security protection on them.
They do. They have the
Wireless printing.
FIPS 140, I believe, is the latest security level. They have wireless printing. They'll be connected to a wired network. So I want to show you the wireless part of it. It's just utilizing your own Wi-Fi. That is just another method of transmission.
Right. And to get the pricing where you wanted it, you're not necessarily replacing the same speed, or how did it end up working out for you?
We ended up, like all copier companies, will have certain speeds of machines.
Uh-huh.
And so what we do is we match what you required closer to that. If you were requesting the 30 and we only have a 35, we'll put the 35 in.
Right.
And price it accordingly.
And did any of your, well, on the other quote that you have, did you include any machines that you were giving to the county this time?
There is a third option, as we call it. We will donate the commissioner's office. The courtroom currently has a black and white unit sitting in the back. And the sheriff's office, outside booking, which is their color machine, we will be donating a off-lease machine to them. So it could be a third option.
Okay.
That will save you. You have to do the subtraction on this one, but the FMV, this is for the multi copier lease. That brings your price down on 60-month FMV to $679.63, and the 60-month dollar out to $733.88.
The only reason why I knew that is because you had originally submitted it, and then I found out we had to go through this process, right? But that wasn't something that we asked you to do.
No.
You did this on your own.
This is on our accord.
On your own accord, right? Yeah. So, and you've done this for the county a lot. I know, like in the jail, you talked about replacing the machine up there because it was messed up.
Yeah, we had, the jail booking machine, a black and white machine, had a part cloud in it that we could not get a new replacement for, so we had put in a temporary machine, knowing that this was coming up, so.
Right.
They were taken care of.
And then, not to sway anyone's opinion, but the current on the machine for the machines that are currently under lease, is that a dollar buyout now, or what is it?
Yeah, that was $1 buyout.
It's a dollar buyout net right now.
Yeah.
And on the appraisal district, theirs is actually in renewal, or has it stopped?
You know, I can't remember.
Okay,
I want to say the lease is up on that.
it's up on that one.
Yeah,
I believe it renewed.
I think it ended 11/2/25.
Yeah. Well, they auto renew if you don't.
Right.
You turn in the notice to terminate it. Okay.
Is there anything else? Is there any others?
We have more.
Yeah.
Yes, I know you got more.
There's 4. Thank you.
Appreciate
Chris, thank
your
you for coming up here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take your time.
Like I said, Joel letter opener here, just you hear me.
We do have. I didn't really realize this,
Fix
but
that.
downstairs in the breezeway, there's speakers. I wonder if we can play music. Like,
Probably. They said 5, so
oh my
we'll have to
word!
share for right now. This is Datamax,
There you go, Jeremy.
Thank you.
and they also sent citizens cards. It looks like. Business cards in there.
For all years of service, we hereby give you this business card holder.
Does the judge need that one?
Am I supposed to read it?
Well, there was. What'd you do with the other one?
I gave them to them.
Well, there was 5. Somebody has 2.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Oh, these are different machines.
Looks like the one that's in the commissioner's.
This is
building.
Kyocera. A lot of Kyocera dealers, aren't there, Chris?
Datamax is we're a full line Kyocera dealer, so we carry everything from the smallest to the largest. And there are some dealers that can't carry only certain levels of machines.
Oh, the little ones, yeah.
Lower levels. TPI is the same way.
I think they've been on this.
What was our monthly payment on the large lease?
679.
$637.45. $637.45 for 60 months.
Okay. To speed the process up, if on these larger leases, if there's a bid for more than $637.45, we don't have it in our budget.
Right. Sounds
I
good.
don't think it should be looked at.
Agreed.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
So that takes care of this one.
Let's hear
Is
that
there
one.
another one? I can zap through them real quick if that's the case.
These are all going to be the same books.
Oh, okay. So, because that's going to require us to amend our budget. Is that one? I think those are the same.
$10 in that handout.
Chris, was your bid under $637.45?
That's the third option.
I'll get on and hand it back to you.
Oh,
The third option is $679.
Just what I looked at and what you and I discussed, it does look like that budget is the lowest option.
Oh, that's right.
That's what
okay.
March 6th.
our budget, our lease is currently, from what I understand, $637.45. Is that correct?
Exactly.
That was written through your company.
That was on the release of the machines after 5 years for another 5.
Right. Yeah, I'll have to tell you all that. So Judge Wolf was here. The leases came due during Judge Wallace's time. They were 5-year leases. The copiers had low copy volumes on them.
They were released at that time, and that's one of the reasons why your payment is so low right now.
Right. So they just renewed the lease on the same machines. They cut the lease price in half and signed it for another 5 years.
That's right. Kept going.
Right. Which wasn't a bad decision at the time.
But normally they're 5 years.
Normally they're 5 years.
Well, it's a 5-year lease, and then the lease expired. It had a fair market value buy it on it. And so rather than buy them out, I guess we kind of did buy them out.
In a way you did.
In the way we did, we bought them out. We did $1 buyout for the next 5 years. We're at the $1 buyout time. That time has elapsed. So we're at the $1 buyout.
And usually you can pretty much figure that if you release the machines after 5 years, your payment's going to drop somewhere between probably 40 and 50.
So it was a way to. And then what happened? So as a part of that, we had the $1,100 some worth, or $1,200 worth of budget. So, in the next budget year, it all went away because we had a lower volume. I didn't realize that when we were going through our budget process, or I would have brought it up.
So do I understand, are we getting all new machines, or is
We
this
will.
just all new machines?
Mhm.
Oh,
Minus the ones you're donating, or the ones you're donating used or new.
They'll be off-lease machines. So
Off-lease machines, so they'll be 3 to 5 years old. So it's kind of a stopgap.
well, I must have heard wrong. I thought the third option where we got the free machines was $679.03.
Yeah, if we do option 3, then if you take out the machines, if you put the machines that we're going to donate and take them off the lease, that drops your lease payment down to $679.63, and that's for the 60 month FMV.
That's option 3.
$679.63. So we're
A little above.
slightly over.
Yeah. But we can go with
Well, this is your
option
department
1.
now.
Or option.
We drove them through the door.
It depends on how far y'all want to negotiate. It is above what we currently have budgeted for the next 7 months. There are other options. I mean, some of the departments may still have some extra budgetary authority, left over at the end of the year to cover the difference and renegotiate, and, whenever we're going through the budget process, or y'all can negotiate with him standing there.
Can you extend the lease for 5 years and 4 months?
We can go 63 months. That's most of it.
That would probably eat up we could do the math and figure out what the difference is and just extend it by a few months, right?
Yeah.
That would
Like I said, when I get back, I can look at the rates.
Yep.
Because you also got to factor in the PPT and stuff.
Yep.
And then see what that comes out to.
How do y'all feel about that?
Should drop you a little bit.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
And I'll say this, given the volume of your copiers,
We can stomach it.
you could take it.
Yep. I agree with you. Yep. I'll make the motion that we.
But his bid is significantly enough less that we can't even consider the others.
Right.
I think so too.
Then I make a motion that we consider awarding the. Well, hold on a second. On the small one, what was the payment on the small one? What was the lowest price on the
Just
small
on
one?
the appraisal district,
On the appraisal district, did y'all have a lower price on the small one?
But it was 114, 114, right?
You doing the buyout or?
Or is
I prefer a $1 buyout too, by the way, instead of that fair market value.
Okay. on the
What's-
appraisal district, the dollar buyout was 106.32.
106.
Okay, and I lost where I wrote down what was our current price.
150.20.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or are we allowed to beef up their price a little bit? And like you could roll some of the money you could take these two and merge them together and just finance it all at one time. Is that possible? That would make the price lower overall without having to extend the lease term.
then Sherry would have to pay us for her copier maintenance if we're running it through our records.
Oh, I see. Well, she could contract for the maintenance directly with them, but the payment with us.
Yeah.
Is that cool with that? So let's just roll them together. We'll award the bid for both amounts. With the price being blended and then reallocated to each of the departments accordingly. Does that make sense? I understand what I'm saying, but
Yeah.
It does.
I got you.
I don't know how to say it.
We can take the CAD machine, put it on, add it to the big lease, and I'll recalculate that, and I'll give you 60 and 63 months, and you'll see what it is. And then, like I said, as far as service contract goes, we'll have a service contract with the county, and we'll have a service contract with the appraisal district separate.
Right.
Oh.
And then we can just build the appraisal district for their share of the fixed costs.
A bill you, Sherry.
All right, so
And I'll need back what you have in your hand right now.
I'm gonna say I make the motion, and you're gonna tell them what I'm gonna say. I make the motion that Chris,
Is that you award the contract to Budget Business Systems based on cost and service,
based on cost and service, with the
the lowest prices. And we will combine, request one with request two as far as machines go, and provide separate SMA, service maintenance agreements, for request one and request two.
okay, and that's my motion. I'm sticking to it.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Hallelujah, praise the Lord.
Really?
Yes.
Did you make notes on this or your notes?
I got it
Okay,
here.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank
You
you,
can't
sir.
read much for it anyway.
Thank you.
You appreciate it?
I can't tell you the amount of time that we spent on that. It took a lot of time.
It was really easy, I think.
Miss Wolf, you did a good job.
Really.
You did a good job on this. You have done really good on it. Discuss and consider authorizing the county judge to negotiate and execute a contract subject to legal review and approval with either Everbridge, HyperReach, Altiris Technologies, or Alert Media, or a similar provider for countywide mass notification and emergency alert system, including residential contact database and iPOS integration in an amount not to exceed $25,000 per year.
I move that we authorize the county judge to negotiate and execute a contract
All right,
with, I guess that's what we're gonna discuss.
as it stated.
Yes.
Is there a second for that?
Second.
And a second?
The $25,000, the things I saw was way less than that.
It's going down. I just got a bid in. Actually, let's vote to say we're going to just talk about it. Oh, no, we can't.
She
vote
made a
yet.
motion to
No,
approve.
we can.
Yeah.
So from the time that I've stuck this on the agenda, well, let me give you a little backdrop first. So,
Make it quick.
okay. The quick part is I recommend this company, and I have a lot of
I
reasons.
talked to
Okay.
Joe
I
earlier.
have
That's why I knew it was less.
Yeah.
Than
Yeah,
Right.
we all,
Yeah.
yeah, it's only
It's not going to be 25,000.
9,100.
I'm not going to give them any extra money,
Okay.
and I've already thrown in.
Squeeze all you can out of
And
it.
I've already thrown in free installation. But here's this. Here's this. Jeremy's already seen it.
Is this the preference?
That's
Is this
the-
who you're
this-
going to talk to?
This is who I prefer using, and
Oh.
and it also matches what Joe wants or recommends.
Oh, Everbridge.
Everbridge.
I'm ready to vote.
Okay, all those in
I'm
favor?
ready to vote. Yep.
Aye.
Aye.
Discuss and approve on February the 19th, Rains County. I should be celebrating, like yelling this to the highest of high. Discuss and approve on February the 19th, Rains County Jail successfully passed its second comprehensive inspection conducted by the Texas Jail Commission on Jail Standards. As a result of passing this inspection, Rains County has satisfied the necessary requirements under jail standards regulations and is no longer subject to the enhanced enforcement compliance measures in accordance with the applicable jail standards rules. Rains County will be submitting a request to be formally removed from the enhancement enforcement compliance list. With this agenda item, you'll see that there's two emails from the Jail Standards Commission stating that we are back into compliance, and it's an amazing day for Rains County, Texas. Their motion to
No longer on the naughty list.
no longer on the lot. I have one more meeting to and I'm done with that one.
Good. Good
So I'll
job.
make that in the form of a motion. Is there a second? To
Second.
approve it?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Northcutt. All those in favor? Aye. my hats off to the jail and all the staff over there for doing such a great job on getting it completed. I'll accept the motion to adjourn. Adjourn. Motion to adjourn. Second. All those in favor, aye. We're done.
I think we set a new record.
That's longer than a budget meeting.